from the VON Newsline. This is the VON Major Newscast.
Good evening, I am Tammy Reed in with your VON Major News package for today, Thursday, 20th December 2018. In our lead stories, nationally, the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank reports another successful year of operations, and the Freedom of Information Act to be fine-tuned to become operational. Regionally, Buju Banton to begin Freedom Tour in March. Internationally, drones disrupt flights in one of UK's busiest airports. And in sports, Utah Jazz defeat Warriors, net beats Bulls, and now has the longest winning streak. We'll have the details to these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, VON.
Welcome back, and now the national news in detail. The St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank Limited is reporting another successful year of operations with a net income after tax of $52.1 million. This represents an increase of $12.6 million or 32% from last year's reported profit of $39.5 million and an increase of $23.7 million or 83% from the reported profit of $28.4 million in 2016. All shareholders of record as at October 31st, 2018 will be entitled to receive a dividend in respect of the financial year ending June 30th, 2018. Also of note in the accounts, total loans and advances to customers increased by $61.5 million or 8% to $828.9 million in 2018 over 2017. Indeed, loans and advances by National Bank have increased steadily over the years, with the 2018 figure representing an increase of 24% over 2014. National Bank is a public limited company, with the majority shareholder being the federal government of St. Kitts and Nevis. A Freedom of Information bill that was passed into law on May 3rd here in St. Kitts and Nevis will be operationalized after the necessary requirements are put in place. Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, the Honorable Vincent Byron Jr., says part of the process to operationalize the Freedom of Information bill has to be to document management processes to ensure that when the public comes to request the data, it is available in a timely fashion. He said the Freedom of Information Act requires a response time of 20 days for information to be provided after a request has been made. He explained that a large number of government institutions still have paper records which may not be easily accessible and which will not allow for necessary information to be pulled in a timely manner. Minister Byron said that an electronic filing system has been introduced in the Attorney General's chamber to facilitate the efficient storage of information received by the office. The Freedom of Information Bill promotes maximum disclosure of information in the public interest to guarantee the right of everyone to access to information, to provide for effective mechanisms to ensure that right and for related matters. In more national news,
this House will sit on Monday, December 24 at 1 p.m. to debate the motion of no confidence that was filed by the Honorable Leader of the Opposition on Wednesday last.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable A. Michael Perkins. Speaker Perkins made the announcement on the adjournment of a sitting held on Wednesday, 19th December 2018. On December 11, 2018, Leader of the Opposition and the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, Dr. Honorable Denzil Douglas, filed a motion of no confidence with the Clerk of the House. The motion was filed against the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, and the Team Unity government. On December 11, 2012, a motion of no confidence was filed against the then Prime Minister, Dr. Honorable Denzil Douglas, by Leader of the Opposition at the time, Honorable Mark Brantley. The Opposition initiated court action to have the matter heard. Speaker at the time, Honorable Curtis Martin, declared that the matter was sub judice and therefore could not be debated. In more national news,
the general public is hereby notified that on Saturday, 22nd December 2018, we would be opening our Long Point office to facilitate the clearing of goods this coming Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Further, we will also be opening our parcel post section that is in the General Post Office in Charlestown. And we'll be opening to facilitate the clearing of goods also from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And of course, our courier section, as usual, will be open to the general public from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. also.
That's Assistant Comptroller of Customs here on Nevis, Mr. Roger Fifield. Moreover, regarding the goods or items to be collected from the department, Mr. Fifield also gave this reminder to enable the smooth flow of processing.
We are asking you kindly to bring along your invoices. Also, if someone is clearing on your behalf, please to present the person with a government-issued picture ID and an authorization form. And that is to facilitate the smooth transaction with the customer.
Assistant Comptroller of Customs here on Nevis, Mr. Roger Fifield. A debit card system will be initiated on December 24th by the Caribbean Credit Card Corporation, CCC, in partnership with the Ministries of Sustainable Development, Social Services and Finance to bring the government's poverty alleviation program to fruition. A government announcement stated it is expected that in the new year 2019, payments will be done via a debit card that will be replenished on a monthly basis. The Team Unity administration will launch the promised $500 per month household support program for households earning less than $3,000 per month on December 24, 2018. The Poverty Alleviation Program will be officially launched on Monday during public ceremonies on St. Kitts and Nevis. At the ceremony, initial payments by check will be made to applicants to the program whose application data has been properly verified by the technical and professional staff of the Ministries of Sustainable Development, Social Services and Finance. A number of collection centers will be set up around the Federation where successful and verified applicants can receive their remittances. Newly appointed Director of the Forensic Department of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, Mrs. Latoya Lake Marshall, has made it clear that she is ready to work after recently arriving in the Federation. In her introductory remarks at a commissioner's lecture on Wednesday morning, December 19th, Mrs. Lake Marshall said that she was proud to be appointed as the Forensic Director. She also said that her duty in St. Kitts is to make you, referring to the officers, stronger at what you do. Mrs. Lake Marshall hails from Antigua and Barbuda. In May 2001, she graduated from the John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Criminal Justice with concentrations in Public Police Studies, Forensics, Criminology and Law, and a minor in Advanced English. She also brings a wealth of experience and is passionate about crime fighting and the implementation of advanced forensic strategies to act as a deterrent to crime. Lone female Calypsonian Singing Jenny walked away with the crown last evening, December 19th, as she won the Best of the Rest Calypso competition, which was held at the Circus in St. Kitts. The Best of the Rest is an event for those Calypsonians who were not able to advance to the Senior Monarch competition. Singing Jenny, whose real name is Jennifer Deming and a crowd favorite, beat 7 male competitors to reign supreme. The other 7 participating Calypsonians were Mighty J, Badman Polo, Hot Rod, The Provoker, Quantash, Jack Spanner, and Honesty. The Calypsonians were backed by the Legends Band. Scores were Singing Jenny 353 points, first runner-up Jack Spanner 343 points, second runner-up Honesty with 334 points, and third runner-up Quantash with 301 points. Finally, St. Kitts and Nevis has endorsed the Global Compact on Migration. The Global Compact on Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration was adopted in Marrakesh on December 10th and then formally adopted in the United Nations General Assembly in New York on December 19, 2018. The Global Compact is the first multilateral framework that promotes the benefits of international migration and provides guidance and best practices for states on methods to confront its challenges. The Compact has 23 objectives ranging from diaspora engagement, facilitating remittances, portability of social security, providing documentation, encouraging decent work, as well as data collection for evidence-based policies. Objective 2 is of special significance to St. Kitts and Nevis as it references and includes disaster displacement policy prescriptions in addition to addressing irregular migration and systematic factors that propel people to migrate, including climate change and natural disasters, poverty and conflict, amongst other factors. St. Kitts and Nevis was represented by Ms. Asha de Souza, Second Secretary at the Federation's Permanent Mission to the United Nations in New York. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. News from across the region is next.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It really is. Come and let the Bank of Nevis Limited improve your quality of life this Christmas. Take an unsecured loan of up to $20,000. Ho, 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 ho. That's not all. Take advantage of our flexible loan term options. It's Christmas and it's time to be merry. Contact us today at 1-869-469-5564 or Facebook, Instagram, or visit our bank today. It's the Bank of Nevis Limited, wishing you Merry Christmas!
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail. Reggae icon Buju Banton will kick off his highly anticipated Long Walk to Freedom tour in Kingston, Jamaica at the National Stadium on Saturday, March 16, 2019. In a news release, his promotional team said tickets for the show will go on sale January 16th via Banton's official website www.bujubanton.com. Banton, whose real name is Mark Myrie, recently returned to the island after serving 8 years behind bars in the United States on drug-related charges. The concert will reportedly mark the return of Banton's Shiloh Band, who, according to the release, began rehearsing about a month ago for the Long Walk to Freedom stop in Jamaica and subsequent tour stops. He has a show already booked for Trinidad and Tobago in the spring of next year. There is also a show set for March 30th at the Nassau National Stadium in the Bahamas. Jamaican-based luxury resort operator Sandals Resort is denying allegations that it is covering up sexual assaults at its hotels. It insisted in a statement on Monday recent allegations of cover-up by our organizations are false and are gross misrepresentations of not only the facts but who we are and what we stand for as a leader in the industry. The Butch Stewart founded company that boasts of leading the industry with the highest guest return rate of any resort company in the Western Hemisphere is defending itself on the heels of allegations that it has been trying to silence tourist claims of sexual assault. Some of the allegations were made in a report aired earlier this week on US-based ABC Network, in which makeup artist Melissa Blayton alleged that when she was a guest at a Sandals property in Ocho Rios, Jamaica last year, one of the hotel's employees sexually assaulted her during a solo sailing lesson. Couple Jeff and Ashley Pascarella also claimed that when they went to Sandals Royal Bahamian to get married in 2016, the butler assigned to them sexually assaulted the bride the night before their wedding. In both cases, the alleged victims said they were asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Blayton was given a voucher for future stay, which she has not yet used. In the case of the Pascarellas, they refused to sign the NDA to get the refund they were offered and are instead suing Sandals for US $30 million. In Antigua, Merrill Tula Shidwick, 61, was yesterday found guilty of murdering Conroy Andrew on his farm 4 years ago as the 2-month trial ended on December 19th. Andre Guttersnipe Joseph, 23, who was witness, was also accused of murder, but he threw in the towel, pleading guilty to manslaughter earlier before giving evidence about what transpired on the day of the incident. He said he followed Shidwick on a bus to Sweet Tez village and they were going on a move which eventually took them through some bushes and onto the victim's farm. Before venturing to the land, Shidwick used a handkerchief to cover part of his face. At trial, Joseph referred to the victim as a tall black Rastaman who had a cutlass in one of his hands. Subsequently, the 12-member jury panel agreed with the evidence that Shidwick of Green Bay shot and killed Andrew and his farm in Patterson Extension, Liberta on November 10, 2014. Now that both men have been convicted, Justice Ian Morley has set January 30th, 2019 as the date for sentences Shidwick pending a pre-sentencing report on his social life. A date has not yet been set to sentence Joseph. Finally, Barbados leader Prime Minister Mia Mottley highlighted on Tuesday, December 18th, progress, successes, mistakes, and plans for the future in the end-of-the-year ministerial statement delivered in the lower house reiterated that the Barbados Labour Party government will not be shrouded in darkness and silence. Apologizing for the half-hour delay slated to start at 6:30 p.m. but began at 7 p.m., attributing it to an attempt to provide the members of the cabinet and opposition with hard copies, she smiled as she began to deliver her first end-of-year ministerial statement in her new capacity. She was quoted as saying December 18th is exactly 1 week to Christmas 2018, and it would make for a worthwhile case study to examine the attitude and outlook of Barbadians today. The statement also served as a 6-month update on her new government. That's it for our regional stories. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back. Another international news in detail. Tens of thousands of passengers have been disrupted by drones flying over one of the UK's busiest airports. Gatwick's runway has been shut since Wednesday night as devices have been repeatedly flying over the airfield. Sussex police said it was not terror-related but a deliberate act of disruption using industrial specification drones. About 110,000 passengers on 760 flights were due to fly on Thursday. Disruption could last several days. The airport said that the runway would not open until it was safe to do so. We have more in this report.
From the moment they enter Libya, the report says migrants and refugees are...
Gatwick is the UK's second busiest airport. It was expecting more than 110,000 passengers today, but it ground to a halt last night after 2 drones were seen flying near its airspace. A drone was seen again, and it's not known when the airport will reopen. Some incoming flights have been diverted to other airports, and tens of thousands of passengers are stuck in Gatwick. 20 police teams and a helicopter are trying to find the drones and their operators. But Gatwick is warning that disruption at the airport is likely to last for several days as they attempt to clear the backlog.
President Donald Trump has been defending his surprise decision to withdraw U.S. troops from northern Syria, where they have been fighting the Islamic State group. Prominent U.S. political figures and America's allies in the war on IS have been expressing concern at the withdrawal decision. Here is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, Bob Corker.
We were 6 weeks away from a major threshold in this whole fight against ISIS, and to walk away from it now, this type of retreat, is just a major mistake. And, you know, we've shown that we're not reliable to partners with others who've been dealing with us for years in this fight, and so we're hoping somehow the president will come to his senses and reverse this.
Court in Egypt has ordered the release of the women's rights activist 34-year-old Amal Fathi, who was detained after criticizing the authorities for failing to tackle sexual harassment. Ms. Fathi was charged with spreading fake news in May after posting a video in which she recounted her experiences. She was given a 2-year suspended prison sentence in September, but she was not freed because of another case. On Tuesday, a judge said Ms. Fathi should be freed on bail pending trial. Finally, a United Nations report has revealed that refugees and migrants in Libya are being subjected to unimaginable horrors, including torture, slavery, and killings. It criticizes European states for pursuing policies aimed at reducing the number of migrants and refugees reaching the EU.
From the moment they enter Libya, the report says migrants and refugees are subjected to unimaginable horrors. Whether at the mercy of criminal trafficking gangs or held in official detention centres, they are subjected to torture, forced labour and sexual violence. In each of the 11 detention centres visited by UN human rights officers, an overwhelming majority of women and teenage girls said they had been gang raped by people smugglers.
That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
With TDC, save an instant 20% on furniture, appliances, electronics, and more with TDC Hire Purchase. Choose from the largest variety of products with quick approval, great service, and excellent prices and payment terms. Play Spin the Wheel and save even more by winning fabulous prices. Save money in your pocket to spend how you want. Everybody wins and saves with TDC Hire Purchase. You must win with TDC. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In basketball, Joe Ingles scored 20 points while Rudy Gobert had 17 points and 15 rebounds to lead the Utah Jazz to a 108-103 win over the Golden State Warriors on Wednesday night. Jake Crowder scored 18 points and Donovan Mitchell added 15 points on 5 of 26 shooting for the Jazz, who won their 4th straight at home. Stephen Curry scored 32 points and Kevin Durant added 30 to lead Golden State in just the second loss in 8 games. In local cricket, a Nevis under-17 team departed for St. Martin earlier this morning to participate in a 3-way tournament on that island, which features 2 other teams, the Anguilla and St. Martin under-17s. Nevis will engage the Anguilla on Saturday, December 22nd, and then host St. Martin on Sunday, December 23rd. The Nevis team comprises of Tijari Clark, captain, Carlon Tuckett, Justin Aberman, Patrice Nisbet, Akadianto Willett, Jaden Carmichael, Michael Sigolam, David Ramnarine, Rian Solomon, Kimani Nisbet, Jaheim Clark, Teron Webb, KJ Newton, Biswa North Singh, and Guyan Griffin. In cricket news, 3 men have been charged with bribery offences as part of a National Crime Agency (NCA) investigation into spot fixing in cricket tournaments. Yusuf Vakar Anwar, 35, from Hayes, Mohammed Yuas, 33, from Sheffield, and Nasser Jamshed, 32, from Old Bury, are due before magistrates next month. They were arrested in February 2017 as part of the probe into tournaments organized by the National Cricket Boards of Pakistan and Bangladesh. Pakistan Cricket Board started its own investigation into the bribery allegations and has separately suspended 3 players following tribunal hearings. The 3 men are due to appear at Manchester Magistrates Court on January 15, 2019. Finally, in football, Gareth Bale scored a hat-trick as Real Madrid beat Kamishma Antlers to set up a Club World Cup final against Al Ain of the United Arab Emirates on Saturday. Wales forward Bale scored the semi-finals opening goal in Abu Dhabi via the post after a 1-2 with Marcelo. He tapped his second into an empty net after a defensive error, and 2 minutes later blasted a third from a tight angle from another Marcelo pass. Bale, who has now scored 6 goals in 5 Club World Cup games, had been a double and in doubt with an ankle injury and was substituted by boss Santiago Solari just before the hour mark. That's it for the sports segment. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight, mostly fair and cool conditions. Weather tomorrow, partly sunny in general, with a 20% or slight chance of a brief afternoon shower. Winds east-northeast at 22 to 33 kilometers per hour, or 12 to 18 knots, with higher gusts over open waters. Seas 1.8 to 2.4 meters, or 6 to 8 feet. An advisory is in effect for small craft operators, while sea bathers should continue to exercise caution, mainly on the eastern side of the island. Sunrise tomorrow is at 6:35 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Thursday, 20th December 2018. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank reports another successful year of operations, and Freedom of Information Act to be fine-tuned to become operational. Regionally, Buju Banton to begin Freedom Tour in March. Internationally, drones disrupt flights in one of UK's busiest airports. And in sports, Utah Jazz defeat Warriors, Nets beat Bulls, and now has the longest winning streak. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tammy Reed, wishing you a pleasant evening.